Welcome to the Kart Indianapolis experience at Whiteland Raceway Park. Indy's premier outdoor karting circuit, Whiteland Raceway Park is just 20 minutes south of downtown Indy and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Our trackside event center and high-speed go-karts make Whiteland Raceway Park the perfect destination for your next event or party. Stop in today or book your race online at racewrp.com and experience real racing right here. Welcome to the Kart Indianapolis experience at Whiteland Raceway Park.
Kyle, I need a new 219 chain. I need a 77 tooth sprocket. I need some more chain lube, and I need it probably as soon as like tomorrow. Dude, are you even listening? Like, we need this to run this weekend.
Want anything else?
What do you mean?
I already got it in the Kart on Acceleration Kart Racing's online store, bro. All orders over $200 get free shipping.
Oh, throw in a set of tires.
Done.
Everything you need, all in one place and shipped to your door for free on orders of $200 or more. Exclusions apply. Shop akr.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to today's coverage of the Indy Karting Challenge here on Kart Chaser. Today, the Karting Challenge, round number 6. We'll see this morning the thrills and spills of more, looking to try and see can they get themselves the points they look for during a doubleheader weekend. 206 Supermaster, Micro, Mini, 206 Heavy, KA Junior, and 206 Light, all due up on the docket. Once again, good afternoon. I'm Justin Prince. Welcome back to the Indy Karting Challenge here from Whiteland, Indiana. Whiteland Raceway Park, should say, here in Indiana, as we get ready to go racing for the 206 Sprint Masters, Supermasters. If you want to follow along with racing action here at Indy Karting Challenge, be sure to go to Whiteland Raceway Park on Facebook. Whether it's also on Instagram at RaceWRP. We also have a YouTube page for Indy Karting Challenge at Whiteland Raceway Park. Be sure to also join the Discord if you want to keep an eye on all race control matters for today's festivities. Karts are now hitting the racetrack for today. The 206 Supermasters are the first ones to race for their 5-minute plus 2-lap heat races today. And so here's how they'll start for today. Tom Harleman set the pole time for the session earlier on in this one. He'll start things up at the very front here per the running order. Also amongst those running up towards the front for the session, you'll have Travis Wilbur. He'll start off in second. He was a 10th off the pole time. Then William McLaughlin and Danny Cutshaw in fourth. Lowe in 5th, Tom Stevens and Joseph Stevens, Jason Irvin, Scott Galladay, Wesley Bullock, Ashley McCreary rounding out the field. 5 different carts in a classified session. So we're underway for 5 minutes of racing here for the Indy Karting Challenge, the first time around for 206 Supermaster. Good launch for Harleman, already running away from the rest of the field by 6-7 kart lengths that work their way through Sector 2. Had a good second gap already at the stripe with how things were already built up right there. We'll see how long this gap lasts. And a spin! A spin! It looks like that might have been Cutshaw. already going the wrong way around the racetrack. Oh my. Able to get himself turned back around just at the wrong time for a spin. Harlan leading the first lap already on the raceway. McLaughlin, William, Richard Lowe rounding out the top four. Jason Ewers in the 5th position. So the field getting themselves really spread apart. Here's the replay. You've seen a little bit of a flash of that was the wrong way pointed around in that situation again for Cutshaw. He was able to rejoin in the 12th position. Still 3.5 minutes to work with or so on the clock. Harlan right now continuously gaining. Last time through, he was a full 4/10 quicker. Able to start off this race, seems to be really flying now that the race has gone into full tempo. See Cutshaw just getting a bit on the left side of the grass, takes him off, causes him to spin around. Very lucky to not come back through traffic. Race leaders still working their way around Tom Harlan up front, but everything getting spaced apart as well with how things have looked so far. Wilbur and McLaughlin staying right where they were qualified for the session earlier on today. Right now that gap 3 seconds between Wilbur and McLaughlin. Take a look at Harlan staying well in focus here. So far looking extremely good in Supermaster for this race. Harlan before did win a heat race back at round number 2. That was for the tear that Wilbur built up recently in rounds 4 and 5 to be able to take the points lead there. So 2 minutes to go in this race to be able to zip around the racetrack. Still dominating the race with how things have looked so far. It has been pure domination from Harlan. One of those that is, Munsters obviously had to think pumped up for this weekend. The return to stock car racing for Indianapolis Motor Speedway to the Oval. Of course, Indianapolis Motor Speedway within the region. He's one of the drivers. It's AceWorks Motorsports for his team, looking extremely strong today to be able to keep this distance. Right now, the interval between first and second, about 2 seconds or so. 5 seconds between first and third, with about a minute to work with. Remember, 5 minutes plus 2 laps for today. And it looks like based on that timing around the racetrack here, with them running 47-second lap times, should be about 4 to go-ish. Get back to the stripe, maybe 3-ish. We'll see. Race indicator goes to 4 laps to go here. Just maintaining his composure, staying in a rhythm seems to be the main focus. I've had some experience growing up in Indianapolis, Indiana. Worked for several different crews to get on track, has also raced his kart for many years. If you look back to the socials, family has experience racing back as far back as the 1990s. 3 laps is the confirmation, by the way. 3 laps to go. A couple karts working their way to let each other go, it looks like. That was Jacob Ewers, Richard Lowe amongst those with some swap arounds on the racetrack here. But looking like Harlan is about to get himself into lap traffic here to close out this race. It's going to be a little bit until said traffic, but with 2 laps to go for him coming up, it's been pure domination to start off the day today. Absolute domination. 2 to go. And here comes the traffic talked about. Chris Whitaker is the one who will let him on by. No issues to let him on by this time. It's what's been a pure domination race, it seems. Rick Hudson has had an issue this lap, it looks like. He's dropping down the pylon. He's already lost spots to Galladay and Joseph Stevens and Jason Irvin. Regardless, white flag coming out, final time around for the first race of the day. And a lot of the drivers just keeping it slow to the pit lane. Already celebrations on it. Looks like the last lap already may have concluded here. Tom Wilderman already coming into the pit lane here. As looks like we might have already had it come to a close. Tom Harleman dominating run today. So Harleman takes the win over Wilbur, McLaughlin, Ewers. Below your top 5 on the racetrack. Checker flag is out. Checker flag for the first races of the day. So that's a look once again at how things played out for Supermaster. Again, Tom Harleman taking the win today to start things off in the heat races. Then it's Wilbur, McLaughlin, Ewers, and Lowe who were in your top 5. Tom Stevens, Danny Cutshaw recovers to 7th. Pike, Galladay, and Joseph Stevens your top 10. Irvin, Bullock, Whitaker, and Hudson. The rest of the running order for that race. It looks like they'll have to clean up a couple of the carts on the racetrack before we get to our next race. Micro is next.
For the 1-minute or 2-lap heat races today. So here's how they'll start.
Next class already getting themselves prepared and ready to go here on the racetrack. It's time to see how our next group plays this racetrack and see if they play it right. It's micro time. The micros, just a couple cards for them here today, but Regan Hodges led the way in the qualifying session. 46.261 was his personal best for the session. Mike Simonek finished off in second in said session earlier on. And then Patrick McNeely rounding out the top 3. Already to full speed as they go to racing. Already underway on the racetrack. Hodges and Simonek seem to be pretty lockstep to start off this racing today. Already staying line to stern. Simon Ellick still trying to find a way to prod around, try and poke around, as Hodges keeps on having some good speed down the straightaways.
I'll barely do it. I got crashed in American.
Zipping their way past right now, Simon Ellick currently holding on to second, half a second back to start things off for the racing.
No, I basically got brake checking. I hit him in the then he fucking walked up the brake.
2 kart lengths, staying the distance between the two of them. Hodges staying in line to be able to hold on in front. There's what I'm talking about, that speed down the straightaway. Really kicks things out down the lengthy ones to be able to try and break the toe of Simon Ellick. Less than 3 minutes to work with on the clock already for these drivers, and Hodges seems to be taking off. Hodges looking to try and make it what would be 7 consecutive race-style formatted wins if he can start things off right here today with the W. The last time he didn't win a race was round number 2. That was when Hudson Howard came in and swept the day and hasn't made a start since. Still 2 minutes to work with, 2 minutes to work with on the racetrack. Hodges seems to be pulling away and running away with this one. In full control with how the rhythm's played out for him to be able to hold on by a sizable margin. Just see he seems dialed in. Hodges continuously hitting mark after mark around this racetrack, continuously making sure he hits the right point, hits to where the grip and the rubber's built up, and really has not allowed Simon Ellick to be able to keep up here on long run pace. As the tires are up to song, he last time by was 0.8 of a second quicker compared to the 40 kart. Still about a minute to work with on the racetrack. Still about less than a minute. We'll see how many laps they get played out this time after the previous time around. Should potentially be here 2 to go based on the clock. Coming down the front straightaway, Hodges ready to see the 2 to go sign. There it is, 2 laps to go is the signal for Hodges. Outright domination, that's how you can describe this one by 4 seconds already. Hodges seems to be entirely dialed in his micro. Expecting the 1 to go signal here this time by Regan Rhodes, outright domination. Regan Hodges, white flag is out, final time around. Hodges, outright blistering pace from the onset today. Outright dominant to start things off for the heat races. Pace has been there, the pace is staying there, and it seems to be dialed in. Regan Hodges coming away through the final sections. In the terms of the team, They're going to be extremely happy with this one, to say the very least, with how the pace played out. Regan Hodges comes out of the final corner. Hodges will take the checker flag and win in the micro. Second spot, Simon Ellick. Third spot, that will go to McNeely. So the winning interval for the second race of the day, 5.5 seconds. We'll take a step aside. More racing coming up for the micro, for the mini. Now there is one note just received, by the way, for this next rotation. From the qualifying session, it was O'Gara who had a disqualification. He was too light in the scale line, which means it is on the pole, Feichtchainer, for this next race. Dominic Gaddis will start in second for this next race coming up. That'll be in a couple minutes' time, with Kason Hendrickson, Austin Taylor, and Dalton Sears, your top five. Bentley McCann, Joshua Avalos, Titus Roberts, Lincoln Willie, and Dylan Thomas in front of O'Gara will be the lineup once we get going here in a couple minutes' time. So once again, the minis are scheduled to start at around 9:59 p.m. Wait and see if when they hit the racetrack. Take a quick step aside. Minis coming up.
Kyle, I need a new 219 chain. I need a 77 2/3 sprocket. I need some more chain lube, and I need it probably as soon as like tomorrow. Dude, are you even listening? Like, we need this to run this weekend.
Want anything else?
What do you mean?
I already got it in the Kart on Acceleration Kart Racing's online store, bro. All orders over $200 get free shipping.
Oh, throw in a set of tires.
Done.
Everything you need, all in one place, and shipped to your door for free on orders of $200 or more. Exclusions apply. Shop AKR.com.
Welcome back, everyone, as we continue the preparations to get ready for the minis. Waiting for the drivers to make their way from the racetrack. Again, for those who missed, it was from the qualifying after post-race inspection. Feichtchainer, who set the fastest time officially after O'Gara had a disqualification from being light on the scales. So Dominic Gaddis will start in second. Kason Hendrickson, Austin Taylor, and Dalton Sears, once again, your top five. McCann, Fallows, Titus Roberts, then Willie Thomas and O'Gara, how they're arranged for today. Okay.
30 seconds.
So, just about ready to get things started yet again for these classes today. We've already seen them go blistering quick. Minis are up next. So, How will the drivers play out now in this class? We're about to find out. We already seen them go back and forth a fair bit in the session. And it looks like the karts are ready. The karts are onto the racetrack. They look to get up to full speed here. Already zipping along, getting themselves ready to go racing. And the Indy Karting Challenge here as they go and are told to double them up this time. Green flag, green flag. Underway here for the racing. Inside line, trying to prevail already from the start box as they get themselves quickly towards the start and finish line. A lot of tire smoke being kicked up as they battle 2 and 3 wide. A lot of those red and white cars battling out on front. Start things off. Gaddis able to take the race lead away from Feinsteiner. Austin Taylor able to jump up to third spot. Right now, a lot of these drivers trying to get themselves maintained into the rhythm on the clock. 4 minutes and 26 seconds to work with. Should give themselves about 6 or 8 laps to play around with here for this class today. Right now, Feinsteiner trying to maintain draft, trying to find a way around here. Feinsteiner, seen him do well in races, but not get a win yet in a heat or a feature. Can that change here today, here in Mini Swift Heat Racing? Right now, Gaddis, the winner of different features 3 different times this season, maintains the head of the field. Right now, Gaddis maintains the rhythm, starting to try and break away from the rest of the pack here. Feinsteiner starting to lose a little bit of ground to be able to try and keep up. O'Gara, by the way, has recovered to 8th position from the DQ earlier. Feinsteiner now losing a spot on pylon to Taylor as things shuffle at the start and finish line. Again, Feinsteiner with the red helmet, trying to go push, trying to get the spot back. Taylor trying to find a way to close the gap with how much time they're losing. See the difference right now. Gaddis making the apex a lot more shallower, but also making it stick in the shallow moments. Ascend inside. Feinsteiner taking away second. Crossover back from Taylor. Taylor able to get the cross. This is going to help Gaddis try and break away a little bit. Right now, half a second the gap between first and second. Last time by at the stripe. Gaddis starting to break out a little bit from the rest of this field. One of the Cup Karts North America drivers in Gaddis trying to set the loud pedal down here. Back to the rhythm of things. Right now, Gaddis, Taylor, Feinsteiner, the top 3. Bentley McCann currently holding on in the 4th position. Right now, all those drivers separated by about a second amongst them on the racetrack with how they're layered about. It's a minute and a half to go. Looking like Feinsteiner trying to find a way back around here. Seems to be getting antsy. Again, important points on the line. As a result of O'Gara back in 6th position. Currently holding on in the 2nd pack. Make it 5th spot. He's picked up a spot since to Titus Roberts. But 2 seconds is going to be difficult to reel back in in the span of a couple laps. During the feature, he's going to be someone to watch for, to say the least, because of what's been going on with his kart. Getting close to what may very likely be 2, if not 3 to go. We'll see what they look like here. Oh, 43 seconds on the clock, give or take. Keep an eye on the flag stand for any signals this time. Looks like no signals, so 3 to go. And Gaddis has been reeled back in by Taylor and Feischtainer after working together a little bit now. That's a couple laps. Taylor tries to get some pokes, not able to make it alongside yet. Staying lined up for the drafting sections. Poke to the inside. Taylor slides to the lead. Feischtainer tries to pass them both. He gets boxed up by Taylor. Another send to the inside. Back and forth they go. Gaddis trying to stay in the midst of it. Coming around to a couple laps to work with on the racetrack. 2 laps to go. Gaddis holding on in front for now. How long does the battle last? That's going to be the great question right here. Right now, Gaddis still trying to play intense defense. Taylor seemed to have tried everything possible for now at least. Last time by, does he try another lunge, or can he better yet set it up for the final lap? Taylor looking right, pokes left, stays in line, has to reset. That run out of the bank corner all the way down towards the right-hander seems to be his best shot. He stays on the rear end of Gaddis for the white flag this time by. Final time around for the minis. This has been also a set spot so far today, right before the bank corner. So far, Gaddis has held very strongly defensively there. Feischtainer takes a small peek at Taylor. Can't get a run. Now they line things up for the lunge. Feischtainer trying to go for second and slides himself back to third. Now a chance for Taylor. Taylor trying to go for one more lunge. Can't get there quite yet. Can't get there, period. Dominic Gaddis will come out of the final corner and take the checker flag and win in the minis. Second spot, Austin Taylor. Then Feischtainer in third. Again in fourth, O'Gara rounding out the top 5. Hendrickson in 6th position, while it follows Robert, Sears, Willie, and Thomas. Your 11 kart lineup. So the minis conclude their racing action as they prepare for the next grouping. It's going to be next, the 206 Heavy on the racetrack. Again, you're watching Kart Chaser midway through the morning heat races here from Indiana.
So you finally want to get behind the wheel, huh?
Yeah, I've been shooting for 3 years and I've never got to drive.
Well, you're gonna need some more gear than just your helmet. Why don't you go to shopakr.com. They got their inventory online and they'll ship it the same day if you order before 5:30 p.m. Eastern.
They got shoes,
Yep,
gloves,
yep,
rear protectors.
got those too.
Can they make me go fast?
No.
Here at Acceleration Kart Racing, we've got everything you need to get on track. What happens next? Well, that's on you. Check us out online at shopakr.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Indy Karting Challenge, Whiteland Raceway Park. Here today on Kart Chaser. Justin Prince with you here today as we continue on with the 206 heavy class as they prepare for their race train festivities here today. Jamie Bradford set the pole time today. He'll start in front alongside McCorkindale. Alongside in row number 2, Matt Geist and Derek Hastings. Troy Toney ended up finishing in 5th in the session, with Brady Sappenfield in 6th. Raleigh Galladay starts off in 7th. Carl Maurer in 8th. Eric Spilling in 9th. And a DNS for Brennan Lornick for the qualifying session. So they'll be going onto the racetrack in about less than 90 seconds time, give or take, for their respective rotation, our 4th heat race rotation of the morning. Just getting set to go and waiting for them in the scale lines. Again, for those who are wanting to tune in here for today's action, be sure to tune in here on Kart Chaser throughout the day. We'll be having the racing doubleheader weekend, as they'll also be racing tomorrow afternoon and morning. Be able to race their 7th round of the campaign. Should be a fun time to see which drivers play things out for the Indy Karting Challenge for their midway portions here today and tomorrow. Looks like the karts are ready as they're heading the racetrack. Remember, a very quick start zone here at this racetrack, all the way out the bank curbing turn. Already doubled up as they get ready for the green flag coming up here, as they get themselves in position for the starting cones. Green, 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 we're underway. Bradford and McCorkindale lead the way through the course. So we're underway for 5 more minutes, 2 laps extra. Already a clean launch, everybody single filed out now for the 206 heavy class as they try and sort themselves together. First one across the stripe is Bradford, McCorkindale, Geist, and Hastings, so they line up in order after the initial start. Staying all in single file, trying to work together here. Seems to be the goal when it comes to the front runners, especially to try and make things limit the variables as much as possible. Right now, already Bradford seems to be comfortable working with McCorkindale. How things are looking in the early going. McCorkindale the points later, after all, staying together, thinking about the big picture. Big picture has really helped him keep the points lead so far over drivers like Tony, who is back in 5th. Already looking around, McCorkindale trying different lines. Not able to make things poke around yet. Looking to just get in position, try and wait for the right timing. He's willing to bump draft his way around the racetrack. All the way through the corners. All the way coming up to about turn 6 or so here. That's where they start to separate out and then start to break apart a touch before the draft really equalizes things for McCork and Dale. Right now, still working at about 3 minutes, it looks like, on the clock. About 3 minutes reset to the clock. Right now, Bradford in line step. Evans staying behind. Someone who likes to race a lot, we've seen over the years, has also had experience in CKNA competition, the Cup Karts. Be able to battle along for a couple years now. Right now, just waiting for a chance to knock on the door and pry open an opportunity to pounce. Minute 30 to work with, 4 laps down. Bradford still holds on at the point. That guy staying in their draft. It looks like they've ditched Hastings and Tony with how things have gone so far. Eventually, McCork and Dale has to go for the move. You'd have to think eventually. Will that be today? This moment? Not yet. Took a poke to the right side of the racetrack for start of Sector 3. Didn't get a good opportunity. Need to be the inside line. Minute 5 to work with. 46-second lap times being worked around on the racetrack. Should be about 3 to go when we get to the stripe. Some good, respectful racing. Give credit to so far how they played things so far. No major lunges, no major dives, no major destructive moments. Just trying to stay in a line and work together. Almost the sim racing momentum and sim racing mantra that's talked about sometimes. We'll see how they get signaled. They are signaling 2 to go. Signaling 2 flags there, so 2 laps to go. So now McCork and Dale needs to find a way to get that giddy up with Matt Geist. Will there be a lunge soon? Right now, the kart difference too far back. Bradford starting to kick up the tempo a little bit, starting to break away a touch. Coming up to the white flag, this time by. Coming up to the final time around for 206 Heavy. The 206 Heavy senior karts look to battle it out. Bradford looking for a place to go. He tries to play the defense. McCork and Dale tries to play some offense. Tries to find a way to get a run. Try and find any way around here. McCork and Dale setting things up. Takes a small peek. Doesn't get the lunge he's looking for. Bradford stays up there now. McCork and Dale slams the door. Again, Bradford right in his face. Bradford has a bump from McCork and Dale. McCork and Dale trying to make it a drag race, a bobble. Bradford covers him off to the right. Checker flag. Bradford takes the win. Dale second. Geist in third. Troy Tony in fourth. Derek Hastings rounds out the top 5. Then Wiley Galladay able to take it away from Brady Sappenfield at the end. Eric Spilling, Carl Muller rounding out the field in 206 Heavy. So 206 Heavy coming to a close. We'll take a step aside. More racing coming up.
You ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
Welcome back, everyone, to today's coverage of the Indy Karting Challenge. Justin Prince with you here on Kart Chaser as we get ready for our next rotation of drivers, where Landon Booher leads the way for these drivers coming up here. They'll be hitting the racetrack in about a couple minutes' time, less than 3 minutes, in fact. He set the fastest time at the very end of said session for Ryan Mort. AJ Stoner in third, Dan Van Dyke in fourth, Thomas Anthony in fifth position, Josiah Phillips. Mason Gallian will start off in seventh in a couple minutes' time, with Evan Patton, Lucian Laser, and Adler Klein, your top 10 on how they will run on the racetrack. So far, remember, Booher, the points leader, has swept the way this season. So not going to be easy to beat the 820 kart with how things have gone so far in KA Junior competition. Again, to be able to follow along with how things are going on, be sure to follow with alphatiming.co.uk. Follow along from Whiteland Raceway Parks tab here for round number 6. Just waiting for the last of the karts to be able to be prepared here before they hit the racetrack. Then we'll have one more heat race for the 206 lengths before our next rotation kicks off. A small break before the finals. So we'll see how today now goes for a lot of these karts. Waiting for them to get the command to go here. And we can go to the racing. 10:23 was the scheduled start time for this class. It's 10:23, which means it's time for them to hit the racetrack. And so they quickly get their tires ready to go and get themselves ready to double up for this start. Booher will start on the inside line. Mort starts outside. Green flag, green flag. We're underway once again here from Indiana. And a good start for Booher as the rest of the field squabbles its way for second and third on back. Booher trying to pull away from the pack pretty quickly and early. Now looks to try and play a little bit defense. A quick surge from the 14, AJ Stoner. Able to jump up to second spot past Mort. Stoner looks to try and close up the gap. Needs to close up 2 kart lengths to get there. Listen to some of the sounds around the racetrack right now, as with 4:30 to work with. Stoner tries to close up, has a little poke from inside. Mort has to reset. .430 to go in the race already, as now Stoner closes up the gap just about fully. Stoner wants to go for it into turn 1. Stoner takes away the lead. Booher lets them have it for now. Stoner able to slam the door shut to the left side, now works right side. Down the front, down through sector 2, now they work. Down towards the start zone initially. Booher wants the lead back immediately, bobbles, takes the pass. Stoner tries to cross, can't get the crossover. A lot of squabbling now behind. Stoner now having to focus more on second than for first. Mort trying to battle with Thomas Anthony as well. All through the course they rumble now. Stoner holds serve for second, but the cost is a lot of lost ground. That's going to take a couple minutes to close up, and he's missing apexes now to be able to try and close things up and play the defense with a lot of draft pressure from behind for second. Morton also feeling those same footsteps, you'd have to argue as well in this grouping. Ryan Morton last time by was scored in the second position with the drag race that was seen previous. We'll see how things now play out with Morton back in the 4th position as a result of how the squabbling played out for Sector 1. Still 2 minutes plus to work with here as Booher pulls away from the rest of this pack. This is exactly what Landon's done this season in this class. Run away, whenever that kart seems to be in full rhythm today. Young racer that's shown experience in different levels, including a 2021 Mini Swift champion. Kart Racers of America. Danville, Indiana is where the kart racer is based out of. Under 2 minutes to work with. Top 5, trying to see where they settle. Van Dyke is losing a bit of ground, mind you, to the rest of that top 5 with how things have cycled here. Less than a minute to work with on the clock. Booher still holds on in front. Still trying to maintain the gap right now, 1-2 kart lengths. Stoner trying to go for one more opportunity. Still has a few laps to be able to set it up, be able to try and plan things out right. Still a fair amount of time to go, 25 seconds to go, so it's about 3 to go right now. Should be coming up to 2 laps to go at the stripe. We've already seen Stoner's got the ability to make the pass. Does Stoner have the ability to hold on to a said pass? Here comes a big time lunge for second. Stoner way wide, opens the door for more. Going to be interesting on the timing. Looks like 2 laps to go is the signal. Yes, they give the 2 laps to go sign this time around. Ryan Mort, who started on from 2nd position today, looking to find a way to get the fishing rod out. Try and reel on in Booher for these closing stages. Can Booher play the defense long enough? We've seen how long Booher has been able to pull this gap out over time. Mort staying near lockstep. White flag is out, final time around. Right now, the top 3 have gone on their own planet in terms of the gaps, but Mort trying to line things up, looking for one chance to be able to get along Booher. Already defensive Booher to the right side. Playing things back, Mort forced to reshuffle. Can Mort get another run, get another crack at it through the final corners? Not going to be enough? No. A poke from Booher to the finish, but Booher gets the win. Mort second. AJ Stoner finishes in the 3rd spot. Thomas Anthony 4th. Nate Van Dyke in 5th position. 6th spot goes the way of Phillips. Gallian in 7th. Patton, Klein, and Laser, your top 10. Again, a very quick run through for K.A. Jr. today. Taking our step aside. 2:06 light to round up the heat races coming up.
Go and get themselves ready to double up for this start. Booher will start on the inside line.
We're at a commercial break.
Just a couple minutes away from our next group, the 206 Senior Light Karts. Ready to come out pretty soon here from that shaded area. And they will be the last of your heat races before we take a small break and get ready for the finals for 9 minutes plus 2 laps for how they will race things out in a bit. So, how are they going to sort themselves out? Well, their lineup looks like this. On the pole, Jared Howerton set a fast time, 45.9, the only driver to go in the 45-second bracket. Then Elijah Fox start off in second. Levi Wilbur starts off in the 3rd position for today. Then Kyle Landon starts off in 4th. Braden Johnson in 5th. Kyle Peebles starts off in 6th with Ryder Santos in 7th. Cami Pfister will start off in 8th. Gage Justiano will start in 9th. Ethan Williams starts off in 10th position. Dominic Stancombe starts off at 11th. Keegan Day in 12th. Patton Allen, Gunnar Inderline, and then Erica Ackerman did not start qualifying. So they'll have about a minute before they hit the racetrack here for this session today. 6 laps was the qualifying with a course of 5 laps. Should be about another 7-8 lapper for this grouping for 2:06 light. Reminder that after this morning rotation, Kid Kart program will come into play later on for 10 minutes practice plus the 6-lap heat before the next warm-up rotation kicks off for a couple hours of warm-up and qualification for 206 Cadet, Sportman, 206 Medium, 206 Junior, 206 Masters, KA Senior Masters races later on in the day today. All those races go all the way up to about 5:25 for the last start of the day. So the karts now hit the racetrack. Howerton and Fox will be on your front row. And so they already get themselves ready to double up and get themselves ready for the start zone. Should be an interesting one for 206 Senior Light. Again, Elijah Fox, your points leader, will start up on the front row. But the green flag is out. We're underway once again. Howerton trying to battle it out with Fox. Fox for the switchback. Able to get the poke and able to get the lead for now, it looks like. Already some near contact in the battle for second. Crossover battle as they try and fight it out for the point. Side by side up to the finish line. Leading things off at the stripe, Howerton by about a 10. Back and forth between Howerton and Fox to start things off. Right now, Howerton needing points. Howerton right now 6th in the standings coming into today. Has really picked up momentum as of late. He's going to want to keep that momentum rolling here in this day. All of them trying to stay bumper to bumper. Fox all over the back end, trying to keep the pressure up on Howerton. Also with them right now is Kyle Landon, who picked up a couple spots off the initial start. Great start for Landon, who is best run so far in a heat race so far this season. There's the pylon look now as we're less than 4 minutes to work with on the racetrack. Oh, and a poke. It's Landon side by side. He wants a spot from Elijah Fox. They rumble their way to the corner. Fox with the better run high side, able to keep a long front. Now Braden Johnson takes a spot away as well for good measure. He moves up to 3rd in the popcorn seat. He looks to pop his way to 2nd. Back and forth, Fox on the crossback. Fox able to get the run back. 3.5 minutes to work with. Right now, a hornet's nest for 2nd. Fox, Johnson, Landon, Wilbur, all there for the taking in that group. As they continue to allow Howerton to just sail away and run away with this lead. Howerton right now might have a very difficult gap to close up the sitting duck for draft per se, but 1 second the gap between 1st and 2nd, that's not going to be easy for anyone to close, whether it's Johnson, whether it's Fox, whether it's anybody in this pack right now and how things are looking. Right now Johnson trying to find a way to get just a whiff of draft or something to close up in the course these next 2 minutes. require a lot of preciseness to be able to close this gap. After all that fighting allowed Howerton to get such a big advantage to the rest of this group. So far, the middle pack, they are continuing to battle on aggressively right behind Elijah Fox. A lot of squabbling yet again, starting to break up and pop up. Wilbur, Santos, Justiano amongst those trying to close up. Santos losing a bit of ground. Wilbur gaining some ground in that squabbling just now. Only a couple moments to go, less than a minute and a half to work with. See how many laps they get pretty soon here around this 1,200 meter racetrack. And a slow up. Lap traffic comes into play a factor. Clock now resets up to 1 minute and 10 seconds to equalize itself out, it looks like here. But Howerton looks to be going fine. Smooth. There's the time for cycle of 47. Could very likely get 2 to go at the stripe, we'll see. One kart is stopped off the side of the racetrack. I believe that was the lap traffic previously. Brandon Johnson starting to get the rhythm back, but he's running out of time to close this deficit. Right now, Johnson needs to close up 9/10. Of course, the next 2 laps, he's closed up a little bit of it here with how he's been doing on the straightaways. Starting to get the draft down, trying to stay aerodynamic. 2 to go. That appears to be the signal from the flag stand. Contrary to the pylon, looked to be 2 to go at the stripe. It was close on time. Now here comes the pressure once again. Already seen some back and forth possibly here. Howerton and Johnson. This is for the class lead for 2:06 light. Starting to bump draft their way away from pressure. Hawks and company still in a hornet's nest, but Johnson's been able to close up the deficit by more than a second over the course of the past 2.5 laps. White flag is out, final time around. Can Howerton hold on for one more set of turns? One more lap of turns is the better way. Johnson looking for the way to get around here. Still within the kart lane, trying to get aerodynamically ducked down, gets back up in line for the turn. Right now, Johnson may need a late lunge to have any shot here at this. Might have to come down to the final corner. He tries it. He tries to stick it up the curbing. Howerton slides. They go back and forth. Johnson to the right side. Left side for Howerton. At the stripe, I think it's Johnson. The timing score went to Howerton, though. So Howerton getting the edge, it appears, on the pylon for the checker flag. And what a finish. So again, we'll see what officially happens, but unofficially, the pylon shows Jared Howerton up towards the top of the board. And we'll take a look at the replay package. Again, a very close finish, to be able to say the very least, between these karts. Right here, watch for this. This is going to be the deciding factor for the start and finish line. Seen right about there. Right there, you see by the karts, it's Johnson. Transponder said Howerton. But it appears to have been Johnson indeed at the stripe. by what would have been a couple kart lengths. How about that? Does it by about a nose to be able to get the edge there. You see Kart 78 Howerton dropping behind the 26. But again, we'll see what they officially claim here after a drag race. Wilbur, Landon, Fox, your top 5. Santos, Pfister, Justiano. Then Peebles, Williams, Stancomb, Patton, Allen, Enderline, Ackerman, and Day, the rest of the order. So on that note, we'll take a bit of a break here at about 10:57. It's the start of the finals after a thrilling end to the heat races. We'll see how 206 Supermaster starts things off in a bit.
Welcome to the Kart Indianapolis experience at Whiteland Raceway Park. Indy's premier outdoor karting circuit, Whiteland Raceway Park is just 20 minutes south of downtown Indy and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Our trackside event center and high-speed go-karts make Whiteland Raceway Park the perfect destination for your next event or party. Stop in today or book your race online at racewrp.com and experience real racing right here in Indy.
Brandon, why are there all these charges for just over $200 from Acceleration Kart Racing's website?
That's because AKR gives you free shipping on orders of $200 or more within the continental US.
Okay, but I thought you were just getting a pair of gloves. That's what, 70 bucks?
But if I'm getting a new pair of gloves, I might as well get a new pair of shoes to match. And then on top of that, I'll get a neck brace because with the shipping, it's basically free.
Yeah, I do not think the math checks out on that.
Everything you need, all in one place and shipped to your door for free for orders of $200 or more. Exclusions apply. Spend responsibly. Shop AKR.com.
Welcome back. That was the drag race that just happened moments ago. In terms of the finish for 206 Light. It's again Howerton and Johnson going side by side to determine how things played out. In the end, we'll see what they officially rule for the standings there. We will let you know as soon as we are able to in that regard. But it's going to be a few moments here until we get back to racing. Take a look at the sights and sounds around the racetrack as we continue our preparations here again. 10:57 is the due time for the next race.
Welcome to the Kart Indianapolis experience at Whiteland Raceway Park. Indy's premier outdoor karting circuit, Whiteland Raceway Park is just 20 minutes south of downtown Indy and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Our trackside event center and high-speed go-karts make Whiteland Raceway Park the perfect destination for your next event or party. Stop in today or book your race online at racewrp.com and experience real racing right here in Indy.
We're at a commercial break.
So you finally want to get behind the wheel, huh?
Yeah, I've been shooting for 3 years and I've never got to drive.
Well, you're gonna need some more gear than just your helmet. Why don't you go to shopakr.com? They got their inventory online and they'll ship it the same day if you order before 5:30 p.m. Eastern.
They got shoes?
Yep.
Gloves?
Yep.
Rip protectors?
Got those too.
Can they make me go fast?
No.
Here at Acceleration Kart Racing, we've got everything you need to get on track. What happens next? Well, that's on you. Check us out online at shopakr.com.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Indy Karting Challenge here on Kart Chaser. Justin Prince with you as we are just about a few minutes away from our next portion of the racing today. Once again, it's the 206 Supermasters on dock for the morning, along with the Micro, Mini, 206 Heavy, KA Junior, and 206 Light here from Whiteland Raceway Park here in Indiana. So all those classes will hit the racetrack soon, and then once they're done their heat races, it will be the Kid Kart program for the next portions of our broadcast, where it will be 10 minutes of practice for them and a 6-minute heat race. So right now we are just in the midst of the preparations for our heat races, or rather our final races for our first half of the day today. So that'll be in a couple minutes time here on the racetrack before we get things rolling here, before things go the way they need to go. Look at some of the replays on some of the action so far. We've seen some spills, some chills, and also some drag races. Now, we've just received note on that senior light finish, by the way, for 206 Light. that drag race, Jared Howerton was given a 3-second jump start penalty. Same for Elijah Fox. Meaning Braden Johnson officially did pick up the win after that drag race earlier on today. So a huge shuffle as a result on that part, or that respective class here today. Drag race was exciting, but the jump start, not so exciting. So, of note, Larry Pike in the last 206 Supermaster was too light on the scales, so they'll have to reset things there, but better yet, he got disqualification is the better phrasing for the last race, so he did not get classified, being too light during the last race for 206 Supermaster. On that note then, let's get ready for how they will line up for this Master Final. Tom Harleman will start on the pole then for the classification. Travis Wilbur will start in second. William McLaughlin starts third. Jason Ewers in fourth. Richard Lowe will start fifth. Tom Stevens and Danny Cutshaw at the top 7. Scott Galladay, Joseph Stevens, Jason Irvin, Wesley Bullock, Chris Whitaker, and Rick Hudson, the top 13. We'll see how the rest of the field lines up. 2 DNSs in the last race were Ashley McCrary and Chad King. Larry Pike, as mentioned, was the DSQ from the last race in the heat. So just waiting for the drivers to reach 10:57, and then they can get onto the racetrack to go racing for the Supermaster. Again, with how points are now in live tracking, Travis Wilbur, 45 points, picked up a bit of a bumper over Tom Stevens, with Harleman down to the points in 7th. With his victory. This is for the big points though. Compared to 50 for the heat race, you get up to 200 for a race win here in features. Looks like the signal is out there for the karts to make their way onto the racetrack. Just about all set to go racing once again for the Indy Karting Challenge round number 6. 206 Super Masters on the racetrack. And who will master the track the best here in this one? We're about to find out. Green flag is out. We're underway for the features. The finals once again underway. Harleman already trying to battle it out, trying to battle aggressively for the race lead. Levi Wilbur had a better run possibly for that initial start. Right now you see how the karts now cycle their way across the stripe here. It is Harleman over Wilbur to start things off here. Harleman last run did run away a fair bit in his respective heat race. That heat seen him previously take the win by 3 seconds. Can he do something similar here? That is a good question. Right now closing up the gap a little bit though, Wilbur. Wilbur doing a great job to start off this run on the short run. Looking inside, wants the lead. Takes it away. Wilbur takes the point. Wilbur, a 2-time feature winner this season, able to peel away the top spot from Tom Harleman. Larry Pike did make it onto the racetrack, by the way, to start off this race. 14 karts on the racetrack, 7 minutes and 30 seconds to work with. Right now, Harleman trying to play some good defense, some good offense rather, to be able to try and do something here. Wilbur stays in front. These two have pulled away from McLaughlin a sizable margin. Can Harleman get his lead back? That's the question. Right now, they stay lockstep together, stayed in sync for now. They are right now working together to pull away by about half a second a lap, just about on average pace. Working their way down through Sector 3. And so far, a lot of smart passes have come down in a drag race down the final stretch for the final corners. If you can get alongside to the inside in particular, you might be able to get the edge, as we've seen in 206 light competition. See if anything comes to be when it comes to some of these moves here. Of note, Rick Hudson has had another issue. He's dropping down the pylon yet again. Hudson had a similar issue in the last race. Harleman keeping up the pressure on the back end for the time being, and he's off. Harleman off the racetrack, takes a cone with him. And Harleman out of contention for the race win. Makes his first major mistake of the day. And Travis Wilbur is now on his own. A big off there from Harleman. He was staying near perfect with Wilbur, keeping him pressurized for later on in this race. Not anymore. So with 5 minutes to work with, Wilbur has a chance to be able to fully control the rest of this race. William McLaughlin now second step. Jason Ehlers in third spot as a result of all that shuffling. Keeping an eye on Wilbur as he continues to dictate the tempo now. Wilbur, so far, so good. It's going to be very difficult to be able to beat him now with this deficit for McLaughlin. 5 seconds back to Jason Ehlers for reference with 4 minutes to go. They have cleaned up the cone. That was an issue in the final corners. Take a look at one of the other battle packs. Right now, that's the battle pack you just seen float on by. That was for third on back. Danny Cutshaw, who had his own off track earlier on in this race, is keeping the pressure on and trying to keep things tightly steady. Here comes the run, though, for drivers like Tom Stevens. Cutshaw dropped back a little bit. He now has to reshuffle. Tom Harleman is also regrouping in that pack right now. But all of this is with 3 minutes to go. Travis Wilbur putting on a dominating show. Pure domination up to the point. Now as a result, but McLaughlin is slowly keeping him evened up. It isn't a full runaway, as some may expect. working their way around the racetrack. You see how the rest of the battle packs are forming up right now on screen. So, 2.5 minutes to work with for Travis Wilbur. Right now running 47.5 at the moment. And all McLaughlin can do is even up. Take a look at some of the air battles as they form up with the racetrack in front of your race leader towards the back end. One of those battles right now is Pike and Gallaudet, I believe. Rick Hudson is out of the race right now, 4 laps down with what happened to his kart. Under 2 minutes to go. Wilbur continues to dictate things as the blue flags now fly for some of the lap down cards. This race has been so far flying on by, it seems, in terms of pace. So far, some of these air packs, they've become Hornet's Nest. Take, for example, Harleman. He wants spots back. Cutshaw getting shuffled back. This battle for 4th on back now it is. Staying intense. But we'll see how many laps are signaled to go for Travis Wilbur here. 43 seconds on the clock. Looks like 3 to go. So, Whiteland getting prepared for the signal for next time by. Jason Edwards, by the way, who's been running in 3rd much of this race, has been drop kicked all the way back to 6th. Some intense fighting in that respective pack. Right now, Harleman put on a good job to recover, at least to be able to be in the conversation for the podium as well. Expecting 2 to go here. 9 minutes plus 2 laps. There's the 2 to go signal for Travis Wilbur. Some strong speed from them today. McLaughlin has held on to 2nd. Give him huge credit though. He's been able to just run his own pace in all this. And just be able to get himself a great points haul. McLaughlin before today, all sorts of podium finishes. 2nd place runs back in round 5 was the story there. Coming up to the white flag, coming up to the white flag this time. Final time around for Travis Wilbur. Outright domination for the 6 car. Since the mistake from Harleman, that's part of the storylines here that'll come up from the Supermasters today. Outright blistering pace that sees him be able to keep in front. In the very end, McLaughlin did close up a little bit, but not enough to be able to get up to the 6. Checker flag coming up here for Travis Wilbur. He gets it done and wins the feature. He wins the final. Travis Wilbur picks up his 3rd finals win of the season. William McLaughlin comes away 2nd, Tom Stevens in 3rd, Tom Harleman all the way back in the 4th spot, Danny Cutshaw in 5th, Jason Ewers 6th, Richard Lowe in 7th, Larry Pike fair way back in, scored 8th. And Jason Irvin finishing up their respective battle to come across the line right here to finish up their respective grouping. Pike does get it over Irvin, Galladay, Stevens, Bullock, Whitaker, and Hudson. More racing coming up. Micros on docket next.
Welcome to the Kart Indianapolis experience at Whiteland Raceway Park. Indy's premier outdoor karting circuit, Whiteland Raceway Park is just 20 minutes south of downtown Indy and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Our trackside event center and high-speed go-karts make Whiteland Raceway Park the perfect destination for your next event or party. Stop in today or book your race online at racewrp.com and experience real racing right here in Indy.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
Welcome back, everyone, to today's action from Whiteland Raceway Park. Justin Burns with you for the Indy Karting Challenge here for round number 6. As we continue on with our coverage as we get ready for the micros. The micro Swifts about to hit the racetrack for their respective class. If you want to follow along with more, go to Whiteland Raceway Park on Facebook, Instagram at RaceWRP, or YouTube at Whiteland Raceway Park to follow the track on social media today. You're on Kart Chaser. Karts are already coming onto the racetrack for the micros. And it was Hodges in front of Simon Ellick and Patrick McNeely rounding out the top 3 in the race. So, Regan, she'll be looking to keep things up. The green flag is out. We're already racing. Regan Hodges so far has looked extremely quick. She has been, as the team puts it, been a driver where girl power meets ambition, and the ambition of speed has been there from Hodges here today so far. Outright blistering pace from Regan from the jump. Seen Regan's kart really pull away in much of this day today. Of course, Regan also amongst those going to be taking place in KRA Newcastle next month when they go out to Indiana for that respective race. Takes a lot of back and forth with that, as well as the Cup Cars wrap coming up. That'll be here at Whiteland back in late August. It's part of her schedule of races so far. She's running away with it from Simon Ellick. Outright blistering pace, to say the very least, so far, and just about 8 or so years old at this point. Let's see for Regan, by the way. So far, the speed continuing to carry the 33 up and away from the rest of these drivers. how things have looked so far. Right now, dominating paces being showcased so far from Regan. It has been unreal, to say the least, how this pace has looked from her. Right now, she is up to half a second quicker a lap on the average compared to Simon Ellen. Still 7 minutes to go. Sort things together here for these cards. Seeming like a calm run through so far. That seems to be the vibe, at least, for these carts here for this grouping. Six minutes to work with. Regan Hodges right now leading by more than 3 seconds. Outright taking off and pulling away here. You have to give credit to this racetrack, the oldest facility in the country. Since 1958 they've been racing here at this racetrack. The flow and rhythm seems to be on point. It's very technical, but also very draft fitting. A lot of areas where drivers are able to get slipstream, especially in this run out of the bank curve seems to be one of the main areas. Front straightaway opens opportunities for those brave enough to make some sense. It all really depends. Right now, Regan Hodges still has about half a race to close things out in dominating fashion. All of them still working together to be able to pull forward and pull away. Right now, the gap here, 5 seconds. 5. Simon Alex still looks to be solid. Patrick McNeely, credit is also racing on this track, is currently about 7 seconds back from your leader. So far, has been holding their own in the 538 kart as well here. Picture perfect is all you can really describe this race so far for Regan Hodges. It's been calm, it's been cool, it's been dominant, it's been collective. You can tell that kart is really, really good overall. In the last race, this was about the interval difference at the end of the heat race compared to what we're seeing here in the final, about 5 seconds. It's already started to surpass it. Less than 3 minutes to work with. And so far, the conditions today here in Indiana have been very, very calm. Very, very sunny, but calm just outside of Indianapolis. You can see where the flags have been waving so far. 25 degrees Celsius at 77 Fahrenheit. How things have looked today. It's been somewhat toasty when you describe it. Partly cloudy skies expected later on. There's a look at the weather condition comparison, by the way, for those curious about the racetrack today. Not expecting any weather in the area today. All the way up until Monday, which is well past our race time. Not expecting rain in the area, even with NASCAR in town. The joke may lie, you can argue. But now, with less than 2 minutes to go, these sunny conditions are setting the tone and the stage for Regan Hodges. Hodges just playing things safe. Just playing things very fast as well with 7 minutes to work with. Clock jumps around a little bit, still about a minute or so to work with. Should have about, give or take, a 12-13 lapper, it looks like, for her in this class today, if things maintain the way they are. We'll see what the signal is when they get to the stripe here. Hodges seems to be getting around in a good clip. 2 to go. 2 laps to go is the signal. Only 2 more circuits around for Hodges to be able to do something here, to be able to work it around the racetrack. Only one more time coming up here. Hodges takes the white flag. Final time around. 13 laps going to be her distance. Outright domination for Hodges yet again. It's been a good season for her so far, and she'll keep up what's been a very ferocious streak of races. So far, perfect points hauls. Now for what's going to be 4 straight rounds for the 33 car. Coming around the final corners, Regan Hodges will see the checker flag this time. Regan Hodges will put on a dominating affair to win in Micro Swift. Second spot going to Simon Ellick. And third spot behind will go the way of Patrick McNeely as McNeely looks to finish out the course. So once again, plenty of action still to come here on Kart Chaser from the Indy Karting Challenge. We're about 4 minutes away from our next group. It's the Minis coming up next. The Mini Karts will take to the track for their final next.
So you finally want to get behind the wheel, huh?
Yeah, I've been shooting for 3 years and I've never got to drive.
Well, you're going to need some more gear than just your helmet. Why don't you go to shopakr.com. They got their inventory online and they'll ship it the same day if you order before 5:30 p.m. Eastern.
They got shoes?
Yep.
Gloves?
Yep.
Rib protectors?
Got those too.
Can they make me go fast?
No.
Here at Acceleration Kart Racing, we've got everything you need to get on track. What happens next? Well, that's on you. Check us out online at shopakr.com.
A look around the racetrack here as Whiteland Raceway Park gets ready for more action coming up here. Already complete our second final, Hodges by dominating fashion. So, Mini is up next. In the Mini, Dominic Gaddis picked up the win and did so by about a tenth of a second over Austin Taylor. Feichtainer will be next in the lineup coming up. Next in the order will be Bentley McCann. Then it's Danny O'Gara. And then Kaysen Hendrickson. Joshua Valos, Titus Roberts, Dalton Sears, along with Lincoln Willie and Dylan Thomas. The 11 kart order. We hit the racetrack here in about a minute's time.
Now look at me and kind of give me a thumbs up. Hey Rico, you look great with that starter. You could be a starter model.
So now we get things all prepared and ready to go. And what is going to be an interesting rest of your morning. Still 4 more finals to go before the Kid Kart program hits the racetrack for its portion of the day today, during the middle day. As the points run live, by the way, as a result of last race, Gaddis picked up a 6-point buffer on top of things over Feichtainer. Titus Roberts ended up falling down to 3rd with 38 points picked up in the race. That puts him 1,082 in the season, 1,209 for Gaddis. Feichtainer currently 1,132 amongst your front runners. Hendrickson is also in the triple-digit club now, quadruple-digit club, with 1,036 with a 40-point effort last race. Looks like ready to go, racing for the minis. Who will take the win in the mini field today? Let's find out. Green flag waving, and we're underway. 2x2 to start as they work their way through the course. Already a good launch, though, for your control machine. Gaddis seems to have gotten a good rhythm off these starts so far for the day today and for the weekend. Up front, it is Gaddis. That's over Feichtainer. We remember seeing Taylor start to heat up the battles midway through the last run. Single followed out as drivers try and feel each other out, try and get the pattern figured out before we get fully racing here. Or rather, fully battling is the better way to put it. Good lockstep from Feichtainer. Be able to keep up in line and be able to try and keep things tidily compact. O'Gara should say, is the one to keep an eye on here. O'Gara went all the way from the back to 5th in the heat race. He's already up to 3rd. Danny is on the move. Danny looking to try and at least get to where he has a career-high 2nd for the season. Couple times over in features in rounds 2 and 3. Already looking for 2nd there. Not able to get the poke. Still 7.5 minutes, make it 7 minutes to work with. Right now, staying lockstep right now for the time being. O'Gara looking to see what happens up front because Feinsteiner wants to go to the point. Sends it up inside. Crossover from Gaddis. Gaddis on the right side. Feinsteiner left side. Switchback goes the way of Feinsteiner. Now, all that's allowed O'Gara to see what he can do next as Feinsteiner tries to run away to try and get max points here. Feinsteiner with 6 minutes to work with, 6.5 to go. Battle is on for second. Gaddis now feeling a lot of pressure. O'Gara seems to want to go. Can he find a way to pass, or does he have to remain patient? Looks like he is remaining patient, at least for now. Could have sent it on a lunge if he wanted to, just not a place to fully confidently send it yet. Already there, bump drafting the way down the front straightaway though. O'Gara just set the fastest lap of his race. That was in the 44 flats. We did get a 43 from Avalos back in 6th spot. Five and a half minutes to work with. Right now the lockstep still seeing O'Gara looking very eager to try and find some points here. He did miss 2 rounds. That's put him down in the standings. First of those who have missed 2 races on the schedule, though, at the very least. Right now, the pressure has to still remain on for Feinsteiner, though, because if he slips up a little bit, Gaddis is right there for the taking to take him away. By the way, Taylor holding on to 4th in the next grouping. That's with McCann and Avalos. So far, lockstep. Gaddis sets himself a purple lap time right now in the 43.8. They are starting to really push the tempo. Gaddis nearly pushed the back into Feinsteiner. Still 4 minutes to work with. A poke to the inside. Gaddis wants his lead back, gets it back. O'Gara looking to take advantage, tries to crossover. Blocked off for a moment. Now the run again. At the stripe, Gaddis gets the point. Now Feinsteiner still staying locked together. O'Gara not able to make a move. Still 3 minutes to work with on the clock. And now it looks like the goal for Feinsteiner, try and make it a 2-kart battle instead of 3. Try and limit the variables as it will for this battle, it seems. That seems to be becoming the focal point for these karts here. 3 minutes to work with. Right now, looking at the lap totals, it's going to get interesting on the lap count per se here. But Gaddis seems to be in command, trying to pick up what would be his 4th feature win of the season, his 4th finals win, rather. Two minutes to work with. 2 minutes on the clock. Right now, Gaddis still seeing the pressure build. Fight is on for second. O'Gara trying to go the long way around, trying to get a crossover. This is going to help Gaddis on the bumper. Able to build himself a little bit of a cushion now as a result of that send attempt. Now, is that going to be enough for the final minute and a half or so of this race? About a minute to work with on the clock here. Feinsteiner seems to be really good in the first sector to close back up. But Gaddis has had the advantage for the second and third sectors so far. 50 seconds to work with now on the racetrack. 50. Looking like we're going to look towards the stand. Still 3 to go. Appears to have been the signal there. Didn't see anything from the flag stand. Gaddis now seeing Feinsteiner. He's trying to get a little different on the send. Trying to take it up the inside. No doing. Expecting 2 to go signals here. Feinsteiner wants the lead. Slides high. Crossover from Gaddis. Gaddis trying to get right back on the cross. No. Staying lockstep here. Feinsteiner now goes defensive to the right side. Gaddis sees the 2 to go signal. Just 2 more times to send it. Gaddis set the purple lap earlier. So far, he's been setting fast times in clean space up in front. Now can he find a way to get back to the front with a lap and a half to work with? Defensive now for Feinsteiner. Tries to take it very shallow. Gaddis again on the cross, near contact. Gaddis forced to regroup, back up. Now goes back to the right side. He gets preferred groove. Crossover for Feinsteiner. 3 wide for the lead for a moment. O'Gara now in the push. White flag is out. Final time around. O'Gara now bumping his way to second. Feinsteiner up there. That shuffle back Gaddis to third. Feinsteiner right now looking for the setup. Looking to see what can be done to be able to keep this race in his hand. He goes defensive for a moment. Send from behind. The pressure is on. O'Gara and Gaddis waiting in the popcorn seats. 1 more chance for a lunge. 3 wide again for the lead. A bump out of the way. Gaddis using a little touch bit of contact. Side by side for second. Black flag waves with a checkered. So we'll see who gets it officially. But Gaddis at the stripe got it. O'Gara and Feinsteiner in the top 3. And again, unofficial is the key word for the results here. Taylor, McCann, Sears, Avalos, your top 7. Hendrickson, Roberts, Thomas, and Willie are your top 11. A wild finish to that race for the mini class. 206 Heavy is due up next. But look to the finish where it was chaotic. Offset 3 wide to decide the last race winner. And you see it was to the point where it was 4 wheels getting contact for the 67 off the ground for just 2 wheels. Guerra making some back-end contact as the black flag waved as they crossed the stripe there. We'll see what the race result is officially. They are still yet to release those results. As a result of how chaotic things got on the final lap, we'll see how things get scored there for that class. So, our next class for now is getting set to go here at Whiteland Raceway Park. That's going to be the 206 Heavy, the senior heavy. Bradford, along with McCorkindale on your front row, Geist, Tony, Troy Tony, Derek Hastings, Galladay, Sappenfield, Spilling, and Murrow, your top 9. So all the karts are ready to go racing once again here. It's Bradford, it's McCorkindale. All set for the green. Green, 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 and we're underway. Bradford able to wrap the bottom and quickly get himself single filed out. Everybody else trying to sort themselves out 2 by 2. Already, Bradford and McCorkindale seem to be setting the tone here. McCorkindale, by the way, with the last race, ended up scoring himself some solid points. No ground lost or really gained between the top 3, by the way. Troy Tony only lost himself 2 points. Matt Geist only gained a single point in the battle for the standings as a result of the heat race. This is where it can really separate. McCorkindale trying to separate the race leader from his top spot. Not able to do much yet. Matt Geist staying in the popcorn seat as well in this train of karts. Staying lockstep right now, for now. 9 karts on the racetrack. How long does that last? McCorkindale for the side-by-side. Got a good run. Wants to test it. To the inside. McCorkindale ends up lifting a fair bit through the throttle points. Bradford cuts him off. That allows Matt Geist to do something now from the outside. McCorkindale able to shuffle him back. 7 minutes to work with on the clock. 7. Still plenty of time to be able to craft a second chance opportunity for McCorkindale. Still plenty of time to be able to craft any opportunities really for anybody. So, 7 minutes to work with still on this clock. McCorkindale just set the fastest lap of the race at 46.6. He's providing a lot of pressure for Bradford. Of note, Hastings has already fallen down the pylon. Spilling has done the same. Looking to go side by side for the bank curve. How about that? McCorkindale getting brave. Troy Tony also getting into the mix of things. With that decision, shuffles McCorkindale back to 3rd. Geist up to 2nd. Interesting decision to go for the ascent through that part of the track. Our first time today seeing ascent of that kind. doesn't end up working that way of success. Five minutes to work with coming up here. 5 minutes. Right now, starting to get a little bit squeamish is Geist. He seems to be really antsy and wants to do something to get past Bradford. Doesn't want to just sit there and wait. Had a Kart stop on the racetrack. Spilling and Hastings are the two drivers now out of the race. Side by side for third. Tony trying to make up some ground on McCorkindale. Oh, that's allowed the top two to be able to break out and jet out from them. Less than 4.5 minutes to work with. Looking around the course right now as these drivers sort themselves together. 4:25 now to go. Bradford has led much of the day today, has really been able to hold strong to almost all defensive maneuvers, almost all attempts from behind. But this is the first time Matt Geist has had a chance to really take a chance. Get around the 118 Kart. Can he find a way to get an opportunity that is not just prime, but able to make it stick for what would be for the lead, to make it stay in the lead? Looks like he's going for it now. Matt Geist, crossover from Bradford. Bradford able to get him on the cross-up. Solid pick-me-up and solid crossover back to be able to make the pass back. All that is now with them working their way to the course with less than 3 minutes to go. Once again, Geist taking a peek. Bradford stays along the left side. Geist right side. Bradford has a chance to be able to lunge right back on the preferred group. Switch back for Geist. Tries to give a squeeze. Here comes Troy Tony. 2 by 2 in the battle now going on for second. Matt Geist is in the lead. Geist with less than 2.5 minutes to work with looks to run away from the Hornet's Nest. Bradford holds on to second for now. Corkindale looking to get some of the lost ground back as well from Tony. Not able to yet. Two minutes to work with. Just 2 minutes to work with on the racetrack here today. As they continue to battle it out. Geist now feeling a lot of footsteps. Bradford wants his lead back and wants it quickly. He's trying to make it a 2-kart battle yet again instead of 4. Still expecting about 3-4 laps to work with here. Bradford trying to take a little bit tighter exits. Try and find a way to get a chance to poke and prod around. No lunge this time, seems to be in setup mode. Same for Tony and McCorkindale. Tony's really closed up this lap. They are blistering through these laps, mind you, about 47 seconds of lap time right now with how things are going. 45 seconds to go, expecting 2 to go at the stripe, possibly next time by. Right now, staying astern is the lineup. Here comes the poke. Bradford forced to reset. Seconds to work with on the clock here. Now it's coming down quickly. Coming around 2 laps to go should be. Bump drafting a little bit as Bradford this time. All over the back end. 2 laps is the signal. 2 laps to go. Bradford waiting for his chance. When will that chance come is the question. We're about to find out where that chance really comes into play here. Looks like a bit wide as Tony trying to set things up, possibly himself for a move on Geist. Geist now having to deal with the pressure, coming up to the white flag. Here it comes side by side. Bradford getting some help from Tony. Tony pushes him by. The battle's on. Into the grass goes Tony. That shuffles him back. Here comes Bradford. Bradford up to the race lead. And now it gets interesting with that squeeze out. Now who gets the lunge this time? Geist wants that spot back. Can he find that spot back? As McCorkindale also in the popcorn seat. Through the final corners, Bradford able to wrestle his way back with the help from behind. Checker flag waves, Jamie Bradford able to hold off a late lunge from Geist. McCorkindale in 3rd, Tony 4th, Galladay in 5th, Sappenfield will finish in 6th. Carl Bauer rounds out the field coming up. And the rest of your drivers spilling out, Hastings out. 2 more heats, or rather 2 more finals to go in this grouping of races. We'll be back in just a bit. You're watching Kart Chaser. Welcome back, everyone, to Kart Chaser. More coverage of the Indy Karting Challenge. 2 more finals to go this morning. Reach the kid program portion of the day. KA Junior and 206 Light are due up. In particular, the next up in the lineup is KA Junior, which last time seen Booher come away with the run to pull away in the very end after some intense fighting for their class. How did things break down as a result of the points? Well, Booher has now won a grand total of 5 consecutive rounds plus a 6-round start to a sweep. 11 straight races for Booher has gone his way in the 820 kart so far this season. Can he make a 12 for 12 here today? Of note, before we get to the next results, receive some of the word from that finish. We were talking about that for Mini Swift on that Fanatic finish. Black flag was for Gaddis on a jump start. So that has lost him 3 seconds for the final interval. So instead of winning, Gaddis will have to go down to third. That puts O'Gara into the winning spot for Mini Swift for today. So, KA Junior scheduled to hit the racetrack in the next couple seconds or so, in fact. Just waiting for some kart cleanup. Landon Booher currently looking to be your first starter here. Next up in line, Ryan Mort, AJ Stoner, Thomas Anthony, Dane Van Dyke, Josiah Phillips, Mason Gallian, Evan Patton, Adler Klein, and Lucian Laser. That's how the order is expected to go as the karts are given the go-ahead. Already coming up to the start box here. Can Booher make it 12 for 12? Green flag is out. Underway we go. Already Booher seems to be playing strong on the defense. Some side-by-side battling going on for fourth. Outside of that, everyone to speed, it looks like, in KA Junior. Already, pressure is being put on, though, by AJ Stoner. Stoner did the same thing early on in the heat race. Provide tons of pressure before losing the spot to Mort for the closing run. In fact, at one point, Stoner did make the pass on Booher to be able to get in front for a second at least. Already going forward here. Stoner goes for the lead. Already Mort to second on that choice. That might be a good timed one for AJ Stoner to make that move. And now, still 8 minutes to go. Right now, Stoner trying to stay lockstep in the midst of all things. Make sure there's no tires let off, no mistakes up at the front with how things are going. So, another chance opportunity for Mort. He now looks for the lead himself. All while Thomas Anthony tries to battle it out with Booher. A lot of fighting and squabbling to start off this feature in this final. All of this has allowed Mort to be able to take the lead as the clouds start to cover the racetrack. That partly quality coming in. But down to fourth for that lap is Booher. That is a long way back from someone that we've seen win each and every time so far this season. How will things now play out here? We'll see. Mort with 7 minutes to work with and a big slide behind Thomas Anthony. Anthony able to get that pass to stick on Stoner. Stoner wants it back immediately. Tries to wrap the very bottom of the racetrack. All of them running behind as Mort losing, or rather everyone losing touch to Mort. They lost 7/10 with all that fighting this time by. So how aggressive Stoner has wanted to play this. Still 6 minutes to go in the race. Who will come away with KA Junior win? We'll have to find out here. Right now, Mort might not be safe. We've seen gaps close out from 9/10 down to nothing. The end of races so far here today. 1 second needs to be the gap. Can Stoner get that momentum built up that he's looking for? Going to take a few minutes before this gap really closes itself up for Ryan Mort to get up there. AJ Stoner is still under attack though. Anthony not confident in his pace. As a matter of fact, Booher trying to find a way to get around himself. Landon Booher able to get to third again. That battle for second has really helped Ryan Mort out. Mort having everything going exactly well he's wanted this to go here. Mort, throughout the season, has finished second a couple times. We talked about that, as well as a couple third place runs. In most of his other runs, his worst performance, a top 6 in a final in round 3. And if they keep fighting like this with Booher and company, along with Stoner and Anthony, that gap is going to keep on growing. Already up to 2 seconds. Now with Booher up to second. Trying to minimize any damage. Right now, it looks great for Mort. We haven't seen anyone reel in 2 seconds. Only 4 minutes to do it too. It's going to be extremely difficult to close out here. With under 4 minutes to work with. Anthony has passed Stoner, by the way. So Mort, Booher, Anthony, your top 3 now. All of them look to work it around the racetrack to close up this run. Less than 3.5 minutes to go on the racetrack. And right now, Ryan Mort seems to be breaking off and away. More and more each lap. It's not closing up. It's going the wrong way. Ryan Mort Racing having opportunities throughout the season, really building up. Today, KA Junior seems to have really done well in his 8-12 kart. Had some solid runs throughout the season, as touched upon. Also trying to build upon opportunities that he's really built together as of late, including the SCUSA Winter Series that's popped up, for example. Two minutes to go coming up here. Coming around for the final 2 minutes here. Ryan Mort just about set to finish out Song. All of that's with AJ Stoner. He's saying, you know what, we're not catching up to the leader, so we're going to fight it. He wants to get a podium and wants to take some points away from Booher himself. Stoner has had a second place run this season, so it is a possibility, and strongly it is, with how they've been able to battle it out. How Stoner's been in terms of some of his placement on aggression. Right now looking at how that pack is going to handle themselves here. Booher trying to battle it out for that spot though, for the time being. Stoner has gotten the spot in the past couple passes. Now with 50 seconds to work with. Should see some 2 to go signals coming up. Clouds covering half the track, the other half in sunshine. Right now, Ryan Mort just moments away from victory with how things have gone so far here in KA Junior. A lot of aggressive fighting, allowing Ryan Mort to break away this gap. And now, he'll come around 3 to go. Seems to be the stop. No signal from the flag stand for the 2 to go. Right now as well, Stoner has broken on away. This is going to be the lowest point tally of the season for Booher after 11 consecutive wins. As long as things stay the way they are, unless there's a lot of shuffling. There's the 2 to go. Double sticks now displayed. 2 laps to go for Ryan Mort. Right now, Mort just needs to make sure there's no mistakes to be able to secure the first feature and final win of this season.
Oh, I know.
White flag is out. Final time around for Ryan Mort. Ryan Mort had a lot of things happen. He timed up his pass perfect, and then they had a hornet's nest of a fight for second. They spent so long battling that they not only lost the draft, they ended up losing ground to Mort's raw pace in this race. And in the very end, Mort put on the fastest laps of the race, pulled a 10th to 2 tenths per lap to help them solidify one thing: to break up the streak of Landon Booher on the season of victories. Race number 12 total, and final number 6 goes to Ryan Mort. He wins it in KA Junior. AJ Stoner second, Thomas Anthony third, Landon Booher in fourth, Van Dyke in the 5th spot. Josiah Phillips able to pip a spot away from Gallian for 7th. Then Klein, Patton, and Laser. The rest of the running order, how they finish for KA Junior. And so that leaves one more class for the morning rotation for finals. 206 Light up next.
We're at a commercial break.
206 Lights now on track as they take part in the final of this morning's action before the Kid Kart program takes center focus. Once again, they get all set to go for their respective class here. So how did Light go earlier? Well, it was Johnson who picked up the win after jump starts for Fox and Howerton. Wilbur, Landon, Howerton was the top four with Santos in the official running order. That's how they'll essentially start right here. Pfister, Justiano, Peebles, Fox, Williams, Stancomb, Patton, Allen, Interline, Ackerman, and Day. Green flag is out. We're underway for 206 Light. Already ascend for the race lead. A lot of drivers not holding back in this race. Aggression at its finest. Johnson getting the edge at the stripe. Johnson now with the lead. Able to try and make sure he is going to be able to go back to back here. Try and sweep the day. Also staying in the line right now, Wilbur and Howerton. Howerton making up some lost ground, able to get to third with those early lunges. But Wilbur very tactile when it comes to his decision making. He is, mind you, trying to close up. Elijah Fox, because of how things looked from the end for the official running order for the heat race, he ended up losing 9 points, and those are important points. That brings Wilbur within 25, meaning any sort of podium run, let's say, from Wilbur, any sort of victory, even better for Wilbur, and it could be huge for the points tallies. Already up to second is Howerton. Elijah Fox, meanwhile, he's got some problems in the opening lap. He's all the way back in 13th position. A huge swing of points, depending on how things now go here. Keeping an eye on how the karts are now circulating around the racetrack here with 7 minutes to work with. Seems to be in patient mode, or patience mode, rather. Fox has to be in aggression mode. He's already lost 5 seconds to the lead group. He's going to be on the back foot for points today. But depending on how things go here, it could really shake up the standings because of what's going on for Fox. Already Howerton looking for a small shake-up of his own. Can't get a peek around. Top four all working together here, all within about 1 second the gap. Of note, Justiano has fallen down the pylon, lost 2 spots to Peebles and Williams. Also losing some spots now with some issues is Stancomb this past lap. From the second pack, he was the one with the 5-second cushion to close. There's your reason too. Santos is already off the track with an issue on his car. That'll put him 16th area today. Right now, Howerton still trying to make this a 2-kart race, try and allow a breakaway to form up. Trying to push Johnson ahead, rather than try and push himself to the lead yet. Still have half a race to go. Right now it seems to be working, especially since they're busy squabbling for third. Landon trying to take a calculated move, now saying work with me after making the swap. See if that decision works out now as a result of that one. So less than 5 minutes to go. Less than 5 minutes to work with here. Right now the gap 5-6 car lengths between Landon and Wilbur, and we have one more lapper that's slow. But led by the leaders, that's 12, Ackerman, letting the drivers go. Looking around the course right now as things continue to steady about here. Williams has made some moves. Peebles has made some moves. Right now the top four broke only by 4.6 seconds. That's currently the gap between first and third. Rather first and fifth with how things have gone so far here today. You just feel the tension building of when there's going to be a pass attempt here. It's not going to last forever with this grouping right now. You have to think it's not going to last forever in terms of this single file. Air bump for Howerton. Fastest lap, Landon. And that could be helpful for him. Can he be able to close up here and make it a 3-car battle to close? Still, all this is with a lot of squabbling thoughts going to the minds of some. Can Howerton eventually make this move work, but also not get crossed back by Johnson? You can tell it's a matter of not when, it's if, or rather not if, it's when he attempts it. For Johnson this season, that last race was his first win of the season in the heat. Meanwhile for Howerton, he was the winner last time out in the feature, in the final, after finishing second in a heat race. Finished fourth in this heat. Can he make it double up on final wins today? To see what can play out here. Less than 90 seconds to go. Less than 90 seconds to go on the clock. More lap traffic coming up. See the blue flag starting to come out in front of the leaders already. Howerton taking small little jabs, but not significant ones, forcing Johnson to take different lines here. See all the drivers watching on by, curious of what happens here for this win. Lots of drivers standing up at the very edge of the paddock, keeping an eye on this one. And now Howerton taking a peek. Johnson still slams the door. Still going on up to the corner. More lap traffic coming up to deal with. They move on to the right side of the racetrack, no issue. More blue flags continue to fly around the racetrack for that kart. But now, coming around, 16 seconds on the clock, didn't see a signal there. Still a solid amount of time in turn to work with now for Howerton to be able to set this up. Landon as well. Of note, Elijah's had a big charge through the pylon, through that traffic it looks like. Good recovery for Elijah to get up to fifth, but he's 12 seconds back from anyone else on the racetrack. Oh, the send's starting to come on. Bit of a peek again for Howerton. Crossover for Johnson. Johnson able to cross him up. 2 laps to go. 2 to go. Here comes Landon.
But I swear, before he hit someone,
Landon trying to show his claim for second spot.
it slid going into there. And then he
Now it's looking great for Braden Johnson. Was the move too early for Howerton? Or does Howerton get one more opportunity to lunge forward here? Lap and a half to go. Johnson, Howerton, Landon, Wilbur, all bundled together. The top 4 all grouped together here as they come up to the white flag. White flag is out, final time around. Wilbur up to 3rd, Landon shuffled back to 4th for this final lap of racing. Right now, Johnson needs to play defense for a few more corners. Howerton seems to be getting an uber lap put up here. He's now all in the back end of Johnson. Tries to set it up for the run. No poke yet. Johnson still holds in front. Howerton has been able to help them break away. Now a poke, a send. Johnson sent it deep to defend. Howerton tries to cross through the final corner in the straightaway. Coming up to the line, it'll be a track race again. It's Howerton who gets it. Jared Howerton takes senior light and a final straightaway drag race over Braden Johnson. Wilbur, Landon, Fox, Pfister, Williams, Ebles, Justiano, Day, Allen, Stancomb, Enderline, Ackerman, and Patton. The running order to close. 1 DNF in the middle of the infield. Raider Santos did not take the checker. So on that note, that completes the morning rotation of finals. The kid program coming up when we switch things over to our next link of races. Once again, more racing action coming up here at the Speedway for the Indy Karting Challenge. More coverage coming up once again at 12:37. We'll see you then here on Kart Chaser.
Welcome to the Kart Indianapolis experience at Whiteland Raceway Park. Indy's premier outdoor karting circuit, Whiteland Raceway Park is just 20 minutes south of downtown Indy and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Our trackside event center and high-speed go-karts make Whiteland Raceway Park the perfect destination for your next event or party. Stop in today or book your race online at racewrp.com and experience real racing right here in Indy.
We're at a commercial break.
Brandon, why are there all these charges for just over $200 from Acceleration Kart Racing's website?
That's because AKR gives you free shipping on orders of $200 or more within the continental US.
Okay, but I thought you were just getting a pair of gloves. That's what, 70 bucks?
But if I'm getting a new pair of gloves, I might as well get a new pair of shoes to match. And then on top of that, I'll get a neck brace because with the shipping, it's basically free.
Yeah, I do not think the math checks out on that.
Everything you need, all in one place and shipped to your door for free for orders of $200 or more. Exclusions apply. Spend responsibly. Shop AKR.com.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.